Hello and welcome to Scorpion's Adventures. It is me, Scorpion. Welcome to another Bellwright video. Today we're going to talk about the best ore locations you can find in the game, or at least the locations that I thought are pretty cool or most advantageous to you. So let's get right into this. So let's take a look at the map. Early game, at least for me, when I did my first playthrough and what I've seen others do, is they tend to build a base pretty close to Herondine. And why not? Because, well, early game, you're going to be spending a lot of time completing quests there. There's a lot of good resources in the area, and some of those resources are copper nodes. So here's a copper ore, there's another one, and then I'm standing pretty much right on top of the other. And if you're looking for copper early game, I would look to place a camp, like a little mining hut, somewhere in the middle of these three, because ideally the radius of the workers collecting should be able to go to all three of these ore nodes and harvest them. It is a little bit of a disadvantage because you can't fast travel to it. You can place a travel sign pretty much right in around here, and then you're going to have to run in to collect or set it up as an outpost, and you can collect nodes that way. There are some other places you can go for copper as well. So here closer to Bradford, you can do that. But as you start to expand further east here, that'll be later in the game. Early on, you're going to have a wolf quest over around this node. So this will expose that one for you. So it's probably a good place to get started. Another one could be up here in a co-op game. We tend to place a copper node and a forest and a logging camp up here, so you can get bang for your buck. So what I would say in terms of copper, I would say that this is the best location to go because you have three nodes in a short little space. There is actually another one over here by the bridge, and this is my second playthrough, and I built my village here. So I built my node over here, or my harvesting, my mining camp over here, and then also I built a mining camp here for tin. So as we start to transition over into looking for tin locations, I put one here. And even when I had my first playthrough, this is the location that I used to collect tin. I also set up like mud camps and all that here too, or mud collectors, because it was pretty good place to go and collect mud. So again, depending on where you place your home base, maybe you have this as an outpost, or maybe you just have your villagers traveling the whole time until you get there. There are some other nodes. There's another tin one over here, but in terms of tin, those are pretty much the what locations that I tend to scope out. You can go further south here, or here, but again, you start to get into higher tier camps and higher tier patrols. So, and there's another one pretty much right there. But as you can see, this one's pretty much sitting right on top of a camp. So again, it depends on where you are in the game. Early game, I would say probably safer up here. You're just dealing with tier 1 patrols and bandits, so these are good places to go. Next, what you can do is start looking for ore. So as you start getting into start looking for iron ore, because once you start getting into tier 2 materials, you're going to be looking for iron to start crafting more gear and equipment. So what I found as pretty advantageous is there's a place all the way down in the south here near Horndine where there are 2 iron ore nodes, and typically I would have placed my mining camp pretty much smack dab in the middle, but here, actually, let me pause. I'll take you over there so you can see what it is that I did to set up my camp. So just give me a sec and I'll bring you right back. All right, we are back. We are in the south by my mining camp. And like I said, I built one here, and it's your mining hut. I got it to collect iron ore and stone. You could expand it to collect granite, and bonus of being in this space is there's a granite node right there. Don't know if it's close enough within the radius of this camp to get it, but it's not that far. Now, like I said, I would have built it closer to the middle, but there was at the time there was a tier 3 or tier 4 camp there, so I didn't want to get too close to them. But putting it a bit closer into the middle allows you to target both of these nodes and likely tap into this granite and then this granite node. In my camp, I have just the mining hut, a stockpile, and a house. And then I set up deliveries to send food to my friend here, and then I set up deliveries to send fixed weapons back to this camp, and then broken weapons from this camp back to my home base. But if we look at the map here, there are other places that you can go to get iron. Another nice place might be somewhere around here. Now this might depend on if you're looking to get iron and granite. I found not really placing a mining camp specifically for granite not to be such a negative impact in the game, because what I'll do is I'll just go and harvest the granite for myself. Sometimes I'll just go at nighttime and grab the right pickaxe and just go and get that. Increases my harvesting skills, but really you just need granite for some of your research to unlock. After that, I don't really find that it's useful for a lot of the buildings. Like sometimes you need it for buildings, but it's not an ongoing resource. Not like iron where you're going to need it for all the weapons that you need to smith, all of them armor and so forth. So that's why I personally will just go and harvest granite myself. But this might not be a bad location. The only problem is that you do have 2 camps, so the patrols will be frequent. Set your follower or your companion to flee, not to stand their ground, or they will die quite a bit. Another place you could look to build would be up here by this lake. This would be nice if you could put something maybe like right here. Then you've got 2 iron, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 granite likely within the vicinity, but the only issue is that it's a bit far from the road, so you are going to be running in if you wanted to manually scoop up some material. The other thing also is there are a ton of higher level patrols that go through this area, so your follower may be spending more of their time fleeing than they would be collecting the material that they need. But I would say that this is probably a really great spot to build. Again, just the downside would be location to the road to quickly zip in and out, and also the traffic from the camps. You could go and clear these camps, make it a bit easier, but again, you'd have to wait until you're kind of later in the game when you have enough of an army and you're strong enough to go and do that. But yeah, so in terms of locations, those are the spots that I would pick. Some other secondary locations might be, you could pick this one here close to the road, and then you can get iron and you can get granite. But the nodes, if you exhaust them, they could go pretty quick. You're going to use a lot of iron when you start building. And then here's some more tin and some granite, so you theoretically could drop something in and around here as well. Depending on where your base is, these will likely be outposts that you're setting up, because you don't want your followers traveling from, say, your base all the way here, walking all this way, likely dying, getting killed by a patrol on the way. So you're setting up outposts. Now let's head back, because I want to show you what happens when you pretty much exhaust a node and you want to build up your options or opportunities to keep mining in that spot. So like I said, I built my camp here by the bridge, And there used to be a copper node here, but because we used a lot of copper early game, the node on the ground, on the surface, was exhausted. So then we built ourselves a pit to essentially tackle getting the copper that we need. So I've got a top-up order of 30. This one is not an outpost because it is so close to my base. So this is what I'm doing. Now, if you wanted to build a pit, it is a tier 3 building. So you'll have to wait. But if you wanted to place it, what's good is that as you're placing it, it will tell you within the vicinity of where you're thinking of placing it what kind of resources are nearby. And you know, the further out you go, it's going to say, oh, you don't have any resources. So that's kind of a nice feature that you have with the pit. You can place it close to see if you want to maximize your yield for the area. But now that the pit is placed, in theory, they're going to be digging underground in here to collect the material that they need, and it extends the life of the node. So really, if you're looking for the best places, like I said, for copper early game, probably this is a good spot. For tin, you know, someplace here might not be bad, or here, sorry, over here might not be bad also. Again, just depends on where you want to put your base, and if you're going to have your companions just go from your base to collect, or if you're going to build outposts. And then as you start to gear up and you're going to move into tier 2, tier 3 kind of weapons and armor and material, great spot would be here, but again, a bit dangerous until you can clear out some of these camps. I personally like this spot here for material. So I hope you found this video quite helpful. I really enjoyed putting this together. Hopefully it extends the campaign for you and gives you some good advantages to build and go forward. If you like this video, hit that like button below, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Drop a comment below also. Let me know what you thought of the video, if there's anything else that you'd like to see in Bellwright, or if you have any other questions. But this is Scorpion saying thank you very much, and I hope you have yourself a great day. Thank you. Bye.